everyone. Welcome to our next video. We're going to start talking about how to organize and present or share data with others. And the first thing we need to learn about is something called a frequency table. Frequency tables are great ways to organize large amounts of data, summarize large amounts of data. They often form the basis for other types of graphs that we're going to draw. And frequency tables typically sort our data into groups. And then we count the number of data values in each group. And this is called our frequency. We can do this for both categorical and quantitative data. We can do this for discrete quantitative and continuous quantitative data. We're going to practice a little bit of both. We're going to start with an example that is categorical by looking at hair color. So this is going to be our first example here. So I've collected a sample of hair color from previous students in my AP statistics class. You'll notice the prevalence of brown and black because I live in a city that is predominantly Hispanic, so lots of students with dark colored hair with little variation. And I want to take this data and I want to summarize it in a way that is easier for my brain to process. Because that list of words, it's difficult to see how many redheaded kids, how many kids had brown hair, how many kids had blonde hair. Scanning that list of words, our brain is not good at that naturally. So I am going to make a frequency table. And because this is categorical data, the categories are very clear. I am sorting by hair color. So I'm going to make a list of all of the possible hair colors in my set of data. And then I am going to count how many of each color I have and write that in the frequency column. And that is all there is to a frequency table for categorical data. So let's go ahead and list our hair colors. I like to do things in alphabetical order, and I think that we would have black hair, and then blonde hair, and then blue hair, and then brown hair, and then purple hair and red hair. And I think I caught all of the hair colors that are in our list. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out that frequency by counting the number of each. And I'm going to do it by crossing them out as I go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I had 11 students that had black hair. And then I want some brown. Actually, no, I want some blonde. Blonde is next. All right, so we have 1, 2. We have just 2 blonde-haired students. We go to blue, and I'm pretty sure there's just the 1. We go to brown. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 brown-haired students. We have 1 purple, and we have 2 redheads. this is a frequency table for hair color for this selection of AP Statistics students. For categorical data, pretty straightforward. The order here in this column doesn't have to be the order that I drew it in. You could have done it in the order that you encountered them in the list, so brown would have been first. What really matters for categorical tables is that the category matches the correct number. There were 11 black-haired students in this class. Doesn't matter where the black row is, but black should be always paired with 11. All right, let's do another example with numeric data. So I am going to select a random list of 20 numbers, and I want them in a nice clear list. So I'm actually going to use a new function. I'm going to go stat enter. And when I go stat enter, it selects the edit menu, which takes me to what looks like a spreadsheet. And I want to put 20 random numbers in this list. So I'm going to go up to the list header and I'm going to tell it to select random numbers using our random number generator. So 1, 2, let's go 1 to 25, and we'll select 20 values. I'm going to go paste, I'm going to go enter, and you'll notice it fills up my list all the way down to 20 data values. And I want to make a table out of that. That's hard to do, so I'm going to take this list and I'm going to sort it. So I'm going to go back to stat, and I'm going to sort ascending, smallest to largest. And it's going to ask me which list I want to sort. I put my data in list 1, which is right above the 1 button, so second one. I'm going to press enter, and you'll notice it doesn't show me anything other than done. But if I go back to stat edit, you will notice that now this list is shorter. So sample data is on my calculator. I'm going to write down some important numbers. So my min is 2. My smallest number is 2. We're going to scroll down to the bottom to see where our max is. Our max is 25. And I want to go from 2 to 25. So my instinct is let's count by 2s. When I don't have a label for what these numbers represent, I'm just going to call it class or class limits if it's a grouping. So we'll go to, do we want to count by 2s or 3s? Let's see. 25 minus 2 is 23. If I divided by, that's gross. What if I divided that by 3? Let's divide it by 4. Let's count by 4. I think counting by 4, because that'll give us less than 8 groupings. So 2 plus 4 is 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, and that should be good. And then this should be one number less. So 2 to 5, 6 to 9, 9 to 13, 14 to 17, 18 to 21. And if you look at these, you'll notice 18 to 21 is 3 apart, so this would be 25. So I'm counting by 4s here. I'm counting by 4s here, but the gap inside is 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did for categorical. All I'm going to do is go to that list and count my frequency, how many data points fall in each of those boundaries. So we'll scroll back to the top of the list, and I want to know 2 through 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers are between 2 and 5. And then 6 and 9 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 to 13 is 1. 14 to 17, I've got 1, 2, just 2. 18 to 21, I've got 1, 2, 3. And then 22 to 25, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. We'll talk more about how to figure out how big these gaps should be when we talk about a graph type called a histogram. For now, you should be given this information, and then you just need to put the correct frequencies here by looking at your list of sorted data. All right, that's it for frequency tables. If you have any questions about what a frequency table is or how to build them, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in our next video.